Okay. Do some part gathering here. Be nice if I had some place to store all this stuff, wouldn't it? What's up, guys? Neo, Gavin, Homely, Jaden, Trico. What's up, guys? Give me one sec. I think I need to find a better seat cushion for this. It's starting to get hard on my rear end. What shall you work on today, good sir? I'd like to get some brass cut on the Alfa Snooper. We're actually pretty close to being an operational blaster, which, as you know, is our goal. Not necessarily the whole blaster done, but we want to get the thing functioning. And we're actually relatively close to that. And I'm in my pajamas, and I just realized I reached for my knife because I always carry my knife on me. I never used to in the house, but lately I've been. That's my battery done putting into storage. But normally I don't carry my knife on me like when I'm around the house or whatever. But lately, for the past like 2 months, I've realized that I use my knife around the house too, so I just keep it on me. But I'm already in my pajamas. I just took a shower, and I don't have my knife on me, and now I feel weird. No knife into PJs. Got a question you might not be able to answer. I am modding a sling fire. Okay, well, hold on. Driver just crashed. Give that a second. Give everything a second to recover here. And I might need to refresh my chat because I think that just took a shirt. Oh, nope, there it is. Sorry. We're back. I got a question you might not be able to answer. I'm modding a sling fire with an upgraded spring. I think I put all together right, but the pump keeps slipping. I locked the clutch, so I don't know. I have not worked with a sling fire enough or at all to answer that, but I'm sure that there are other people that can. Anybody in the chat have any idea? Okay. Sorry, just trying to get situated here. Let's get this out of the way. I also need to fill in this hole right here and drill it back out because I stripped the screw in there, so you guys will see how I do that. Let me get a few more things. Let's go ahead and do that first. Sorry I couldn't help you out. Boy, not having a knife is really a hindrance, isn't it? That's like, I need that like every second of every day, don't I? Boy, that is annoying. I have to get up again. This is my closest pokey that I have, so we're not going anywhere without that from here on out. I need to clean up this corner. This corner is starting to get a little bit terrible. You can tell my brain is fried yet. Can you tell my brain is fried yet? Can you tell mine is? This cutting wheel is starting to bump into my leg, so I'm just going to take that off. Have you tried using the Black Worker high crush wheels yet at all? Nope, I have not. High crush isn't really my thing. I tend to shoot more for accuracy than FPS. Getting a drill bit here. The small one. I think this is 16th. So what I'm going to do here is drill at the very bottom of this hole of the screw port. I'll show you where in a second. If I can get this started, I will most definitely show you. It's drifting. It is drifting quite a bit. Now, you don't want to punch the hole all the way through the dang blaster, but you do want to punch it through enough. And I can't actually tell. That's disgusting. You need to wash that. Okay, there we go. It's a relatively large hole, but that's fine. So what I've done is I've gone up in here, where the only dark spot on this shell, right in here, naturally. Let's try to angle some light in here, maybe. Yeah, sort of. No, you really can't see in there no matter what I do, can't you? Anyway, I drilled a hole right there. The only dark spot that I can't get to. And now this is 5-minute epoxy. You have to use the 5-minute epoxy because the methyl methacrylate is way too thick to do what we're doing here. And you notice I keep these two tubes together. It's because it's a lot thinner. And if you hold it like this, gravity will usually take care of all of those bubbles that you would normally run into. This is, there's almost nothing left of this one, so I can't really do that, but... And that's just about finishing that tube off, I think. I think it's time to call quits on this one. I've been using this one forever. Well, not forever, but you know what I mean. You can tell it's on its last legs. I'll just throw that out. Need to get more. I think that was my last one. I don't use the 5-minute epoxy nearly as much. I think I only really use it for screw port filling now. Maybe occasionally something else. Also doesn't smell nearly as bad. If you stick your nose in it, it'll smell like rotten eggs or something. But not nearly as permeating as the methyl methacrylate. Which is why I don't have a mask on and my door's open and everything. It's worth noting the smaller amount of the smaller amount of epoxy you use, the more accurate you're gonna have to be with your proportions. So it's generally a better idea to use more. But I don't care. Usually I know what I'm doing. So now we're just going to let this drip into our screw port. And since we have the hole in the bottom, it should, in theory, you use that as a relief and sink all the way in there. So if we just sit here long enough, that little bubble on top should fall into the hole. Hawkeye, do you realize I have a job and wear a uniform to work each day? Okay. Oopsie. And this should be going in now, but I actually can't tell. And I don't have a, what's it called on me? What are those things called? The pokey pokies, the wooden pokies to get things out of your teeth. Damn it, what is that called? That's on the tip of my tongue, man. Now it's just gonna piss me off. Oh, damn it, what is that called? Toothpick, thank you. Yeah, don't have a toothpick. Just split off some wood. We can encourage a little bit. Now, if we didn't have that relief hole in the bottom, I can promise you, no matter how much you poke and prod at this, no matter how much you encourage it to get into that hole, it ain't gonna work. Because the pressure in there is just not gonna want to do anything. Yeah, once you get it going a little bit, just have to talk gently to it and whisper sweet nothings in its ear, and once it gets going there a little bit, it'll start going in there. And then we can cover up this hole. Okay. And we can just kind of clean up a little bit here. Throw that away. Do I have anything to wipe up? Probably not, right? Oh, I can just use this. Wooden pokey pokey. Yes. You have the metal pokey pokey and you have the wooden pokey pokey. One is significantly more pokey than the other. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just isn't the same. Can you tell me which thing is not like the other? My finish this song. I'm a little tired. So you want to make sure that you keep an eye on it until it actually cures, because it might be a bulge up top here now, but keep in mind there's still a relief hole in the bottom, so it actually, instead of crowning at the top like this, it could actually just kind of sink in and then start going into the screw port, depending on how big your relief hole is and everything else. So just kind of keep an eye on it until it's gone all the way down. If it starts to sink down, then you can just drag some up from the side where the hole is at and then just kind of glob it back on top. Yeah, I'm not keeping up with the chat very well. Sorry, Meow. Even that reading that was super late. Then if you have anything important, just tag me and I'll see it. I don't hear anything, but I'll see it. Then if we're playing Minecraft, you for the diamond pokey pokey. Generally, it's easier to clean up before you let this thing cure, but it's not that big of a deal because it's just regular 5-minute epoxy. If you use a razor or something, you can just like snap it off. Like cut in certain places so it doesn't rip the whole thing out, and then just snap it off, and it will come off relatively easy. There's no point in sanding. I still haven't put the methyl methacrylate in here. I mean, there is some in there, but you guys know that I wanted to put on more. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. And I don't want to do that in here. It's much easier outside, so I'm just gonna wait on that more, but not vital to the function. I don't even think it really needs that reinforcement, because I think this is actually pretty strong, but, you know, doesn't hurt. It'll just add to the rigidity. So, let's put some of this stuff away. Well, I'm sitting here doing nothing but waiting for epoxy to dry. Still keeping an eye on it, make sure the level is fine. Not convinced I drilled that hole big enough, which is why it was difficult to get in there. So, I have 3D printed 2 3D printed parts. You can see the seam line up here. These were the tops of both of them, so I printed the one like this and this one like that. So these 2 ends are the bottom. And I can pull this one off just fine. And you can see that it's kind of keyed in and grooved specifically for this guy. It even has that flat bottom on one of the sides. And so that fits in there like that. And this is the perfect length. This is not coming out. I jammed it in there. I had to use my drill press to get the barrel in. Jammed this thing in here real good. So this is now connected to this, and this is now connected to this, and those are permanent. Those are not coming out. I might actually be able to get the barrel out if I tried hard enough with my drill press, but this piece to this piece is definitely not going anywhere. But I guess that's a good thing because it's going to hold the barrel in place. And this one is a little bit looser. It's still really freaking tight in there, but I can actually wrench on this with my hand. I'm not going to do it right now because it's in the perfect orientation, but I can actually wrench on this and pull this out, this half out. What's up, Pete? What's going on? Never finished my Ravenfire and probably won't in a long time. Do you think anybody will want the shell and terminal thermal scope internals for like $60? I'm sure you could find someone. Never know until you ask. So that sits in there like that. I still think I need to cut this barrel down a little bit. At the very least, I want to get rid of some length because it is a little excessively long. Right now, it's averaging... what I was testing with it, it was averaging with this thing in the barrel right about here. It was averaging 205. It never went below 200. So I'll get all this machined up and stuff and test it again and see what the average is. I'll probably cut off a good 2 inches off the front here and then test it again. If the number goes up, then I'll probably cut off another inch. If it still goes up, then I'll probably cut off another inch, or maybe even a ½ inch that time. And I'll just keep going down until I either see it level out or I see it start to lose FPS, and then I'll go ahead and stop. I could do a more refined way of doing that, but I really don't care. And if I cut off 2 inches and I start losing FPS immediately, then I'll just leave it there. But it is a little bit long, so I'm not going to cry over 2 inches because it's a little bit, it's just a little bit long. So what do I need to do? I've never done a brass breech before. So let me get a magazine. Just to make sure I'm cutting things in the right location. Oh my goodness, almost fell out of my chair. Okay. So, magazine goes in here like this. And so that goes like right up against there. So I guess we don't want anything there, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. I'm just wondering how far back I can cut this. It's pretty much on the edge right there. I might be able to get away with a little bit of space there. Let's go ahead and grab our Sharpie. Can always cut off more, but we can't add back, so we might be a little more generous here. I think that's actually pretty generous. I might have to end up cutting that back a little bit more. But that's no water off my back, so there's going to be a little bit of play in the magazine, and that's fine. This line is right about here. That's like right on there, so and again, I've never done a brass breech before, so if you have no idea what's going on, don't feel bad, because I don't really know what's going on. I have never seen a Gen 4 DRS cage and want to know what it looks like with something in it, wheels in it. Are you talking about the Gen 4 V1 or V2? Okay, this Dremel's bumping into my knee and it's pissing me off, so I'm going to move that outside. No problem, Trico. Well, I guess, while I figured out what was wrong with my sling fire, that's good. Do you, you don't happen to have a Gen 4 V1 laying around, would you? Kind of want to know what it looks like with wheels or in. I don't have one in my immediate vicinity, and if I get up again, I'm going to kill myself. Help, I can't make up my mind anymore, so when original... Checking on epoxy, sorry. So when original plan for my Raven build, I wanted to integrate this stuff for many reasons. Have a length. It's all personal preference, Neil. It's up to you. Can't help you. One of the gears in my gearbox broke. Oh, that sucks. That's never a good thing. I also need to... Oh, I was going to say I also need to figure out the orientation, but I don't, because this barrel comes out. So that's convenient. It's more convenient than I thought that was going to be. Actually, it might be easier to just remove this, because what I'm going to do is use this as a guide. Because this normally comes from the back right here. And it sits like that. So the magazine has a little bit of clearance right here. But there's nothing to say that it can't come from the front as well. So we're going to use this shape. This is kind of like staggered. I'm not really sure why it's staggered like that, but I don't see a reason to do that. So there's no... I don't think there's any reason to not do it. Like if I don't do it, if I do it like this, then I guess I'm losing a little bit of stability in this part. But I mean, I guess I'll just try to mimic the other side like this, so they're both this side, but I don't know if it really matters. By the way, now I don't know if I should or not anymore. Do you know who... Never let the fear of something hold you back there, Neil. If it's because you're afraid that you might break something, don't be afraid of that. Just do whatever you think you're gonna like. Do you know who I should contact for replacement gears? Probably the rest of the community. If you post on buy sell trade, on the Nerf buy sell trade on Facebook, that's probably going to be your easiest bet. Just post a willing to buy, willing to trade for post. Usually the guys there are pretty respectable. So. Well, if I don't stagger it, and then I end up needing to, I can always just cut it back and then stagger it. But if I don't stagger it, and then I realize, or if I do stagger it, excuse me, and then I realize that I didn't have to, I can't really put that material back on. So that's gonna go about here. So we'll cut this a little bit forward, I guess. I have a good feeling about that. Well, okay, we'll cut that there. Okay. And I'm just marking with my Sharpie. And it's going to be easier to mark this side when I take this off, because I'll be able to view a little bit, well, I was going to say I'll be able to view a little bit better from the top, but never mind, there's nothing preventing me from marking, or seeing from the top. I'm just a dumb. Just put a little radius there. Okay. So that kind of mimics that side. Would there be a reason for that? I wonder if staggering it like this makes this stronger, instead of having one point of failure. Let me think about that. It shouldn't. Maybe if I put a little bit of a radius here. And right here. Again, we can always, this is making it bigger, so we can always remove it if we need to. But it doesn't hurt to put it on. Okay, driver crashed again. That's great. Good day so far. Oh, that one popped up fast again. New modulus demolisher? Really? I'm actually interested enough that I'm going to check that. A guy on subreddit is talking about a raven with problems, calls the parts plunger rod tip. Okay. Hey Carlos, what's up? Is that on Facebook, Ben? Where's that at? I'm curious. Taking a short break so that we can see this modulus demolisher. Oh my god, that is ugly as hell. I thought they were going to get rid of the green. I really did. I had hope. What is the attachments? That scope actually looks kind of interesting. Oh my god, how many demolisher missiles does it come with? It comes with 4 demolisher missiles. Look how god ugly that is. That is heinous. Look at the bottom half of that. That is heinous. That is disgusting. That might be one of the worst painted blasters I've ever seen. That's like in production. The breech is staggered because the thing moves back that far, so it can take stock dart. The breech is staggered because the thing moves back that far back, so it can take the stock dart. Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm just wondering why this is staggered like this. You see that gap right here? I don't see a reason for it. Unless it's just like something in this that I'm not getting. I don't know. So I'm gonna pull this back, move this forward so that I can continue these lines here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cut that out. Measure twice, cut once, so we'll go ahead and fit this in here first. Make sure that's in all the way. Sort of half-ass line it up. Don't need to be perfect. Hawkeye, that's a long strike sight and some type of missile holder. Yeah, I saw the long strike sight. People are going to be happy that that's coming back, even though it's stupid, but people like it, so, and it hasn't been around for a while. Yeah, that's like right on the cusp of what I want. That's actually pretty solid. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'm happy with that. See, this is the nice thing about not using any glues or adhesives. If you can get the fit tight enough and you can get everything friction fit, you can just keep taking these stupid things apart forever. I can still pop this whole holder off the XBZ tank to do maintenance and stuff, so gotta love it. So we're gonna gather up some of these components and put them far away so that I'm not getting metal dust everywhere on them, and that I'm only getting it on the counter, workbench, so cleanups will be a little bit easier. Sorry, I'm bad at explaining things. No, that's no problem. Hawkeye, that's a long... Oh, you already said that. I don't want to do this. Not looking forward to this. I'm procrastinating. I'm in a procrastinating mood. Whoopsie. God, that is just the worst. Looks like that demolisher missile holder thing like folds or something. Like folds around the blaster? I don't know. Okay. I need to put my phone somewhere where it's not getting metal dust on it. Okay, so you guys are about to see how I cut brass. This might be the first time you guys have seen me cut brass on live stream. I'm not exactly a pro, but I think I'm good enough to pass. Kind of moving everything unnecessary out of the way so I don't get metal dust on everything and its grandmother. Now, Safety first. Always use eye protection when you're using a cut-off wheel, because the disc could break, shatter, and get lodged in your face. Let's be honest. A lot of you guys aren't using eye protection. I'm not condoning that. I'm not saying that's right. As a matter of fact, I will say that that is wrong. But let's be honest, it is not always convenient. And, that's how accidents happen. I think everything's okay until something bad happens, and then you realize, hey, that wasn't the brightest idea. But one way to help prevent, again, this is not encouraging not using eye protection. Always wear eye protection, please. But if you do catch yourself using a cutoff wheel without eye protection, one thing you can do is avoid this directional cuts. Anything in line with your face. Because if it hits your arm, it's going to lodge into your arm, and that's going to hurt. Or it's just going to cut you, and it's going to hurt. If you do it this way, my face is right here. If it breaks, it's most likely going to hit me in the face. If I do it this way, and not lean over the whole thing, so keep it out of my line of the face from this direction, anything in this direction, then it's less likely to cause me permanent damage. So, one thing to keep in mind, if you're not wearing eye protection while you're doing this kind of stuff, again, not condoned, you should be wearing eye protection, but let's be real. That's also true, Ben. Hey, Noel, what's up? So we're about to turn on the Dremel here. So if you guys are wearing headphones and you're blasting me, you might want to turn me down just a little bit, especially because the brass might be ringing a little bit louder than normal. So, all right, here we go. Another trick is to also keep a glass of water nearby. This will keep your part chilly. Again, probably not a tip that I should be sharing, because it kind of encourages people to not use eye protection. But I mean, let's be honest, most of you guys aren't wearing eye protection like you should be. So I might as well, give safety tips while I can. But it only takes a split second, which is why you always need eye protection. One split second for you to not think, cut this way, and bam, that's when it explodes. Built my new PC. Sweet. What are the specs on it? So you can obviously see that I'm cutting this large so that I can dial it back in. It's tempting to lean over to get a better view of what you're doing, but obviously I don't have eye protection on right now, which is why I'm not leaning forward. So I'll just take small bits of it until it does go where it needs to. And if you dip it in the water before you feel it getting hot, because the heat will travel, depending on the thickness of your part and stuff, the heat will slowly travel up to where your hand is. By the time you feel the heat, it's going to take longer to chill it back down. So just kind of get a feel for it and chill it back down whenever you get a little bit of a chance. Give it a rest. And it doesn't take this long, but I'm reading your guys' comments and stuff, so. Little shards of metal will also pop off, not just dust, so be careful of that. if you do get something in your eye, don't rub it. Don't rub it. What the machinist manual recommends is that you pull your eyelid away from your eye, run to a bathroom, and then flush it out with water. So don't rub your eye, obviously, because then you're going to be scraping whatever it is against your cornea, and that's not good. So, hey, what are your thoughts on making a poor man's DRS cage with brass barrel? A defined poor man's DRS cage. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, RX 564 gigabyte, 5.5 terabytes of storage, and an i5 4570 for will upgrade to K CPU soon. Gigabyte is nice. Sounds good. BSB cage. Patrick uses brass. Let's see how long Hawkeye can procrastinate. So now we got to be strategic here a little bit. This is a thinner part, so I'm probably going to want to cut this first. Because if I start here and then continue up here and then go out here, by the time I get to here, it's barely being held on by this little bit. And this is already way out there from this side. So I think I might want to come down this way and then cut this way, where this has more rigidity to it with all the stuff around it. So poor man's DRS cage is just a regular cage with like 3 inches of brass barrel. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? By the time you feel the heat, you're already out of the kitchen. Good eye safety tips. Why are you streaming? I just decided it's time to sleep. Sorry, devil. Devils? Devils? Is it Devil Z Call or Devil's Call? Devil's Call. It's Devil's Call, isn't it? I can tell by the way it is. Cut so the flywheels can make contact with the dart, but the brass keeps it straight. Alright, here we go with the Dremel. I'm going to stop the Dremel here because it's worth mentioning. These Dremel brand bits are also worth investing in. The quick change thing is super convenient, but more importantly, these discs are a lot thicker and a lot more rigid than those wafer thin plastic ones, or wafer thin grinding discs, cutoff wheels or whatever. So these are, I've never had one of these explode on me. Usually they grind down to the point where I have to replace them because the diameter physically changes. Not saying that they won't, but it is worth mentioning. If you were going to get everything off brand and one thing on brand and actually decent, it would be the actual Dremel cutoff wheels themselves. Not something you really want to cheap out on because they could explode. They will explode. It's just a matter of time. Question: how do I make or add screw ports? If you're going to add a screw port that didn't exist, you would probably want to cut off a screw port from another blaster and then epoxy it into place. The most accurate way you could probably do that is screw it onto the opposite side of the blaster, like so that it's connecting to something. Put the epoxy on there, close the blaster, like kind of cut it to fit, close the blaster, let it sit, unscrew it obviously, take it apart, and then reinforce the epoxy again with more epoxy, so it kind of like holds it in place properly so you get everything aligned. That would be my initial thought. That's just off the top of my head. Yes, I have a quick change head. They are amazing. I heard the quick change heads for the sanding drums suck, so I haven't tried those because I heard they suck, but I should probably try it out for myself. Okay, one last straight cut here. It's also easy to get sidetracked and then think for a split second distance is different than, or distance is the same thing as angle. It doesn't matter even if I'm all the way out here. If my drill bit is still at this angle, it's still going to hit me in the face. It's about the angle this way, not the distance. So it might be tempting to like look way over here and be like, I'll back up and look way down here so I can get a better view or whatever. That's not a great idea. I finally got around to sleeper breeching my long shot now to make a pump grip. By the way, do you know the cheapest and best quality pump grips for the long shots? Best quality ones are probably going to be the artifact ones or anything that isn't 3D printed. They have injection molded ones. Probably those. Cheapest? Probably not. Your cheapest one's probably going to be something way jankier than that, but I wouldn't know without doing more research. So this is now a dangerous shard of metal, so we're just going to throw that away. And we got some shards here. We're going to make more dust, but it doesn't hurt to start cleaning up now, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that real quick. Decreases the odds of me sticking my arm in a shard. Oops. Mediator and Hyperfire. Mediafire. Brilliant. So I put a canted cage setup, flywheel setup in my Rapid Strike, but the problem is it still had a big barrel in it. Decrease my accuracy. What would you recommend I do? I've heard just simply removing the barrel will fix that. I'm not sure how accurate that is, no pun intended, but I heard just simply removing the barrel altogether is just enough to prevent it from bumping around in there. Which sounds stupid because it's like if it's not there, obviously it's not gonna bump around. But you still have like the housings that hold the tube in place, so it would make sense that it would like catch on something and jam or something. But it actually, from what I've heard, it doesn't. I've never tried it myself, just for the record. Mod Squad, what's up? I'd say Thingiverse is probably the cheapest. Good point. No point in doing that. So I could start grinding this down immediately with this, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, because there is a way to do it without ruining this. But there are shards of brass on here that I'm afraid are going to just completely fly off and nail me in either the arm or in the eye or kill me. So I'm just going to take those off with a file real quick. If you don't have a file, a set of small hand files, look up some Irwin hand files. I think I have a video on it somewhere, and with an affiliate link that would help me out. I think it's how to or something. Like I think I made a video about my tools or something. I think it's in that one. But anyway, a set of hand files is probably the most helpful tool that you can have, in my opinion. But one man's opinion, so I really like my files. Probably my favorite tool for Nerf. I have a different favorite tool for talking about in general. Is that weird that I have favorite tools? Those shirts, though. I'm having trouble keeping my eyes open. I'll catch some sleep and leave you to it. Have a nice stream, I guess. Thanks for stopping by, Devil. Thank you for sacrificing a couple minutes of your sleep so that you could join us for the stream. So let me think out loud here. Not trying to offend anyone. Not trying to look for handouts or anything. But I don't have any sort of like setup for donations or anything, and I haven't really pursued that at all because I'm not really interested in people donating. But I'm aware that some people might want to. But then again, I don't want to encourage people just to like communicate with me or something, because that shouldn't determine whether I communicate with you guys or not. So there's going to be no on-screen annotations like this person donated this, because that kind of encourages people to do that kind of thing, and that's not what I want. But I'm thinking about just putting my PayPal in the description, and then if you feel like donating anything, then you can do that. But I don't want to put on like some sort of like annotation thing where it's promoting. Is that something that you guys would want me to not do, like that you're strictly against, or would you guys be okay with that? Or talk to me. What's up? Nope, I like my tools. What's your file's names? I call mine Sasha. I don't have names for my files. I have, which is weird because I name a lot of my things. I name a ridiculous amount of my things. I do not have a name for my files though. Okay, let's go ahead and switch gears here. Where do you normally play Nerf at? I'm from Houston, so we have a group called HANU, Houston Area Nerfers Unite, and that's my local group that I play with. Go to sleep at 10 and wake up at 6, you'll get 8 hours of sleep. That's boring. Best way to donate is to buy stuff. That's true. I already throw too much money at you, so I already throw too much money at your fine ass. Give it a try at least once. There we could go from there. That was confusing. We should definitely have a way for us to donate. You're a man of amazing talent, and I'd love to be able to have you. I appreciate the compliment. I probably won't do that tonight, but I'll probably just like silently do it and not mention anything. But so how do you grind this with this? There is a wrong way to do it, believe it or not. I always use the rough ones. I think there's like the equivalent of 60 grit and the equivalent of like 100 grit or something like that. There's a fine and then a coarse. I always use the coarse ones because from the research I've done, you can get huge packs of knockoff sanding drums, but I heard those suck bad, like ridiculously bad. Like they will go out so fast. So I'm not about that. The Dremel ones are stupid expensive in packs like this, but these things last me forever. I've been on this one since Glass Construct, and I haven't needed it for anything else. I think I changed mine out halfway through Glass Construct, I'm not sure, and then I'm still going on it. So that's enough for me to keep them. But brass will absolutely destroy your sanding drum if you don't know what you're doing, and I've destroyed many sanding drums trying to Dremel brass. But the trick to it is, if you go slow enough and you do a light enough touch, it will slowly grind away at it. But if you dig into it with any amount of force, instead of the grinder grinding away the metal is going to cut into the sanding drum, and it's going to destroy your sanding drum. So just a little bit of a lighter touch is all that it needs to make a huge difference. Hanu is the most anti-meta group, to be honest. It's great. That is mildly true. I know how to grind. Okay, here we go. If you have headphones, blah blah blah, you might want to turn me down a little bit. And this is also going to heat up your part the fastest. Don't get me wrong, it's still gonna wear down your drum faster than pretty much anything else. But you won't destroy one drum per brass. So I guess that's better than nothing. Try to straighten these out as much as I can. The further out I go on this, the more unstable it's going to be, obviously. Try not to catch any snags which would bend it. I'm a shower, BRB. Not a problem. I like using flap discs for that kind of work. I've wanted to get a flap disc, but those stupid things are really expensive. I know it's going to be worth it, but those things are so expensive. Don't be afraid to realize that some of these rounds might be a little bit too tight to use your Dremel. You might just have to come back with a file. That's okay. Files cut through brass pretty quickly. Files cut through a lot of things pretty quickly, but people don't realize. If they're not used to using files. Yeah, but again, they last forever. That's true. Oh, but the reamer wasn't. I really wanted the reamer though. I broke up with my girlfriend at a restaurant. She started crying. Everyone thought that I proposed to her, and they started clapping. Yeah, it's in quotation marks. So are you quoting something, or are you actually saying that? Okay. Keep going here. That's vibrating a lot. I'm gonna use a file to back the brass up a little bit so it has some sort of stability here. Because it's actually a little bit too hot for me to hold it with my finger. Comfortably, anyway. I'm trying to hold it with the file, but not file the damn thing. Here we go. Come on, you little... Alright. It's a little better. When it grabs like that, that's a frightening sound. Okay, let's see how we did there. Hey Jason, what's up? Quoting. Gloves, Ben, gloves. Yeah, probably. Hawkeye's unsafety tip. Yes. So now we'll come in with some files here and kind of clean up some of the things that we have. If you're having trouble with your files, like not cutting as fast as you think they should, number one, make sure they're not clogged up. I use a brass wire brush to unclog mine. And then number two, make sure you're taking longer strokes rather than quick short ones like this, because this isn't going to do anything. It's the long ones that you want. What is he doing? I am filing the brass to shape, in theory. Hopefully I don't have to worry about the brass bending all the way up here. As we get closer down here, I'll just file it like this. Because if I file it like this all the way up here, it's just going to bend. Not applying a whole ton of pressure right here because I don't want to bend anything. Use table as a little bit of support here. So you guys have any project updates? Anybody working? Anybody been working on anything since we last communicated? Always like to hear your project updates. That's one nice thing about the round file is when you miss, it doesn't kill you. If you miss on something like this, it just digs into your skin with that sharp bit. But missing with a round file isn't that bad. This is the breech, the brass breech for my HPA Alpha Trooper. First time making a brass breech, so we'll see how it goes. I was working on my project for my machining class, and you have to file some of the rounds because we just didn't have a rotary table, so we had to do it by hand. And he was like gonna explain it to me. I was like, filing I can do, filing I'm used to. I've filed on brass or on aluminum plenty of times before. So that was like only thing I knew what I was doing. But I was the first one to finish the project in the class, so yay. It's not a competition, but I'm winning. No, kidding. Angel style, just finished my... no, this is a sleeper style. Angel breech is a little bit overkill for my HPA needs. Angel's like a double seal. I don't really need a double seal. Use the table of support here. I have no idea if this is too thick, but I'd rather, again, leave more material on than I absolutely need, and then have the ability to dial it back, than to go the other way and need to start over. So we should be able to get a decent idea. I'm not sure how much play the magazine has, but it has a little bit of a gap there. Maybe a 1/16 of an inch on either side. A little bit less than that. That's there we go. And that should come up to right about here. So we might as well test this out and see if it fits. Get rid of some of these sharper edges. Just with a dull X-Acto. Let's play Spot That Safety Hazard. Anybody catch that? I knew exactly what I was doing when I was doing it, but I didn't change my posture anyway. Welcome back, Patrick. That was fast. Why practice with files makes perfect? What are your thoughts on short darts? I like them. The worker ones are stupid accurate if you've ever used worker short darts. I guess worker doesn't make long darts. The worker darts. Those are stupid accurate. They also are pretty cool because they make a whistling sound as they go by. Never underestimate intimidation factor. It'll scare the pants out of people, off of people. I also might be mildly convinced about the legitimacy of vortex blasters. Someone at our local war, we were running a pistols round, and he had a diatron. That's confusing. You have all these 120 FPS pistols, and you're used to dodging darts in a certain way, and then all of a sudden there's this slow-moving projectile that's coming at you, and your first instinct is to dodge, but then you realize, wait, if I dodge, am I going to dodge into these things? And it gives you a second of confusion where you have to focus on which way you're actually dodging. And it's something I hadn't thought of before, so probably not for me, but a little bit more legit now in my brain. Let's see if we can get a cleaning pipe here, and we're gonna cheat a little bit. And don't do this to a dart if you want to keep the dart. But this is going to help us clean up the inside a little bit. It won't be perfect with one pass, but it will be better than it was. Gosh, I need something longer. It's right there. Oh, this will work. I can extend this. Ta-da! Instant clean. Or at least cleaner. What are your thoughts on the new Xzeus Omni Gold? You mean Omega kit? I like the Omega kit. Looks promising. Has a lot of design aspects from older generations of stuff, which has been proven to work. Shows promise. I'm not exactly thrilled about the gold color. I would prefer if they had a machined option, or at least a silver option. That's just me. The rose gold looks better in my opinion, but the problem is it's not going to match anything, so I would probably prefer the gold. It's just going to be so hard to paint anything with a rose gold. But yeah, if I was gonna make a long shot, that would probably be what I put in it. At least, maybe probably a different barrel material, but at least the rest of it. But I unfortunately don't have the money to justify that. If I was more into long shots, I would, but I don't have the money to justify it. So beautiful. It still fits. That's half the battle. So what this is going to do is when this comes like this, it will push the dart down just a little bit so that it's now riding on this rail. And this one fits over it like this, and it will just close up like that. Nice and clean. So in theory, no matter how fast you jam this forward, it should, in theory, chamber correctly. And that's airtight. See if we can get a little bit of poppage. So before we dial this back any further, there's no harm in seeing where this leads us. It's a little bit off. That's gonna bother me. I gotta fix that. That's gonna bother me. It's not even on one side. Whew, that just want to even this out. That's a little better. I'll have to stop and take more time to get it 100% better, or 100% where I want it. But that's already 100 times better than it was, so. Okay, sorry. I like going to Wars with the Exodus 2 that it has a 26 kilometers for the shock and off factor, but more than 10 minutes playing with that thing, it feels like I've been at the gym all day. Yeah. Little unusable in my opinion. Thing goes through O-rings like crazy on the plunger head. I have another dart here. I'm just gonna sacrifice her. Head fell out. Oh. I just like didn't go anywhere. There we go. Okay. Now let's try that out. Sorry. Let's vacuum this up. I'm changing my mind left and right here, people. Get it cleaned up enough where we're not going to get metal dust in our arms, lodged in our arms. Just give that a quick wipe. Clean up the rest of it. And that resin is pretty much done. Not resin, what is this? Epoxy. Just clean up around it a little bit. It's still a little soft, so I won't drill into it yet. I'll wait till it's actually all the way cured for 24 hours before I do that. Oops. Should probably tighten that. Okay. Okay, we'll just half-ass line this up. Forgetting how I put this together. That's encouraging. That's even more encouraging. Now, I might need to dial the inner lip inside of here back just a little bit because I think it might be a little too far forward right here. So if you have a dart that's a little far forward, I think it might catch on the breech right there. So I might have to dial it in back in here. But right now, that fits. Ha ha ha! I'm pretty proud of myself right now. First try? I just jinxed myself, didn't I? That's good. That's good. Alright, hold on, I'll be right back. So you're gonna get more parts. Hold, not done. Okay. Is everybody still alive in the chat? Anybody still there? Oh shoot! You know what the bolt sled? This is a retaliator one. It's downstairs. Give me one sec. There we are. Nope, we all became zombies. Nah, me. I wonder if there's any sort of like temporary pin that I can just put in here. Cause the actual pin is like super tight. Although I suppose I'm done with that section, so I don't think it would hurt to put it in. I really am done with filing this, so I guess that is not the right pin. I took a gamble. That's the right pin. I'm sure once I get this in there, I'll realize that I missed something and I'll need to take the pin back out, but for now, how do I put this back in? Didn't think about that. Didn't think that far ahead. Did not think this far ahead. I've never done this extensive of a mod on any Springer before. There we go. So this is kind of my first experience with a bolt sled and stuff. I mean, I've taken, stuff apart before, but I've never had to put it back together. How the hell? How am I going to fit that in more? This is a real question here. I'm gonna kill myself on this brass. Oh, that actually worked. Okay. A block of wood. Well, that would have been easier. Rubber hammer is your friend. I should have looked up. You got all the tips. Tie solder wires. Oh, that. I really should have looked up before I did this, Greg. Oi. Let's try not to bend that brass. Well, I'll know for next time, I guess. It's the only way to look at it. Okay, got that. Oh, balls. I knew I was forgetting something. I was like, don't put that in yet, don't put that in yet, and then I put it in, and then realized I need the arms. How does this go back together? Although I was too stupid to look up. Thank you for the tips. I appreciate it. If I can ever get this screw back in. Oh my god. It's never gonna go back in. Let's make sure I'm using the right screw before we screw around with it. Ha! Yeah, that's the right screw. It's cocking to one side. Oh my god. I'm going to be the only one at my school who finished their senior project. That sucks. Well, I mean, not for you. That's great for you, but that sucks for them. What was your senior project? No problem. That's why we are here, right? About what FPS would I be getting with an L? Don't know. Don't know nearly enough about Springers to even take a guess at any of that. Hawkeye, would you happen to have any pictures of the Zeus Raven integration of glass construct? I have them somewhere. If you message me someplace, I will eventually get around to sending you them. Go in, you little bastard. Oh my god, why is this not going in? Am I missing something? It's not wanting to go in straight. And that's starting to tick me off. Let's try to put this in without this damn thing. It's like constantly cocking to one side, and that's starting to really piss me off. Am I putting in the right screw? I feel like I'm not. Discord okay? Yeah, that's fine. I want to sting a raven so much. I just do deplorable when muscle things. Guy didn't. Careful those strip stupid easy. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Did I not put the screw in here? I feel like this isn't the right screw. But I might just be paranoid. I think I'm just being paranoid. It's a really short grip length and a wide washer head. I feel like I have the wrong screw. Let me check my desk, hold on. This is the only other one I'm seeing on my desk, but it looks too, looks like the washer's not nearly wide enough. Well, it might be just big enough. HPA, it's running HPA. Sleeper breech, yep. I feel like this is the screw. That looks really not wide enough. I guess it's wide enough. But that was mildly infuriating. Yeah, see, that's not... See, that's not wide enough. It has to be that one, because that's the widest one here, but it's not freaking screwing in for some reason. Like it's too wide or something, but it looks just as wide as that one, which is why I'm confused. Like the threads themselves, not the head. It just hates me. Oh my freaking lord. This is impossible, man. It's like caught on a wrong thread in the plastic, and it just does not want to deviate from that. Here we go. That might be the most frustrating part of this entire freaking build. Oh my god, that was annoying. I'm almost positive I put the wrong screw in, but it works. So, oh my god, that was really annoying. See, I'm the type of guy where if I did screw up the bolt sled, I wouldn't have any trouble just ripping apart another Alpha Trooper for a new one. Call me a monster. Let's make sure I can move the bolt sled. My eyes are itchy. Let's make sure I can move the bolt sled back far enough. I feel like I made that measurement before. Oh no, yeah, I did. Okay. Make myself look like an idiot if I didn't. Let's put this in first, and then kind of slide this like that, and boop, boop. There we go. There we go. Oh my god! Water! Water! Somebody get a towel! We need a towel. Oh no. Oh no. This is just no. Don't do that. No. Okay. Hawkeye 1, bolt sled 0. Okay. Catastrophe averted. I feel like I need this top rail if the pump grip is going to slide properly, now that I'm looking at it. How the hell does this thing go on? The other direction. Whatever I think it is, just put it on backwards and I'm sure it will be the right way. Now remember, we can't cinch down, we can't put any screw in the back up here, because we still need to drill that out. But we're not going to put in all the screws everywhere anyway, so. I'm aware I don't have the magazine release in here. Just get all the ones down around the handle, so we have good structural integrity there. Maybe get one up closer here. Let's put one right here. Put one up here. Okay, let's get the pump grit. Would you be able to charge enough, if I may ask, if you put the LEDs in the Raven? I got the wire and LEDs. I just not the knowledge of how to. I mean, it's really not that hard. I think it could be a nice learning experience if you take the time to figure it out yourself. But yep, it's an XBZ tank. LEDs are fun. They take some time, but they're fun. You just gotta let yourself have fun, because they can get frustrating if you let them. But okay. I'm kind of happy with that. Okay, so obviously this is not a half dart mag, but have the breech open, load in the magazine. Oh, it has so much weight to it. I love this thing. And there's my issue. See, that's how I can tell that it's not the right... That's how I can tell it's not the right screw, because the screw is now running into the magazine. Because it's popping out the other side. Damn it. Okay. I need to cut that off. Damn it. Okay, before I'll do that later. But I know you guys are probably wanting to go to sleep by now. That is wet. So I'm just going to load one in here by hand. That is interesting and worth noting. Whoopsie. Oh my god, I'm trying to let it rest on the rail there. Okay. Closed. Bolt sled 1, Hawkeye 0. Yeah. It's bolt sled 1, Hawkeye 1, I think. For keeping record. Oh, that's a little hot. Yeah, oh, that's a little hot. That's up to 80 psi. Hold on, need to get my Allen key. We're just about 60 psi now. Will it work? I don't know. Will it work? It's guaranteed to scare the crap out of me, whatever it's going to do, because this dart's going to go bouncing around in here at 200 FPS, so. Alright, we're charged. We're hot. This is absolutely going to dent my wall, by the way. Let's see if we can shoot something that won't dent. Metal won't dent. If it dents metal, I'm quitting Nerf. Alright, this is gonna go bouncing around at high velocities and most likely hit me in the face, so this is also going to be relatively loud, I imagine, for you guys, because it's going to be a sudden mic spike, so you might want to turn your volume down significantly. So I'll give you a second to do that. So 3, 2, 1. That fired so fast, I didn't actually see it. I was expecting it to like bounce around and stuff, but I don't actually know where that went. It actually left a little red mark. I don't know if you guys can see that because it's already stained, but that little red mark, that slight tinge of red was not there before. Okay, let me discharge it here and look down the barrel. It's discharged. No, it's not live. No, yeah, it fired everything. That's actually really disturbing that that shot that quickly. I was expecting it to ricochet. I have no idea where it is. Okay, well that just atomized that guy right there. All right, we're about to fire here a little bit, so brace yourselves. Oh my god. This thing is freaking beautiful. This is my new favorite toy. Oh, yes, please. I don't ever want to be on the receiving end of this. Oh, this is nice, man. This is nice. I'm okay with this. That came out beautifully. Alright, gonna have a pop here. That sounds mean, man. I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm in a closet and it's kind of echoing in here, but that sounds mean. This thing is... I am going to shoot Jason in the knee with this. I have a thing about shooting Jason in the knee every time I see him. It's usually with Ethereal Fortress, though. Jason is easily the single most tagged person with Ethereal Fortress. And it's not even during gameplay. No, I was reading someone who said that, Nick. I have a Buzzbee Big Blast tank I might have to do this with. Bang. 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 Oh, that's pretty. That's real pretty. Are you going to paint it? If so, how? I will after a little bit of time has passed. Simply because I want to get this done for the NIC war. That's mid-March, which I will definitely have this done by then. But yes, I will eventually paint it. I'm also going to put LEDs in it and stuff. I just want to get it running for right now. That'll be at a much later date. Or should I do a tank? Titan tank. The choices. That's smooth, man. So the only things I have left to do to make this where I want it to be is, for right now, is to grind down, cut off the I don't know if you can see that. That right there. That little silver bit right there. Yeah, that shouldn't be there. So we need to grind down that screw. And then I want to cut off a little bit of this barrel. I'll take off 2 inches. If it increases the velocity, then I'll cut off probably another inch. If that's still increasing, then I'll cut off in 1/2 inch increments till I either get here or until it starts to dip down, and then I'll stop. Just because this is a little bit long. But I have a feeling like somewhere around here. But we shall see. Nice, smooth. You can feel this last little bit closes the breech, which is nice. But virtually no effort to do this because there's no resistance, because it's there's no spring in here. So I'm very happy with the way that came out. How to automatically win, aka get a team to scream and run for their lives with the rate of fire and velocity. Don't make the mistake I did and don't cut it off still in the sled. That's a great point. That's a good point. I'll measure it, probably screw it into polycarbonate or something, and then cut it off that way. That's a good point, Greg. Thank you. So, future plans for this thing after we get this running. What do I eventually want to do to this thing? No promises on anything I'm about to say, because I'm just thinking out loud. But I would like to cast the jam door, this thing, and the front. Don't really think the trigger. I would like a black artifact trigger for this. Since I've had the original Alpha Trooper was the first blaster I ever owned, and since I've had that, I wanted to put LEDs in these 3 parts right here on either side. So there's definitely going to be LEDs in here. Obviously LED, the jam door up, and this thing, and then this thing if I make it clear. I would like to make an extended magazine release down here. There's a little bit more technical stuff in there than I would like, which is why I don't have that. So if I can design it before mid-March, that'd be great. I'll throw it in there. If not, that's understandable. But I would like to eventually make a extended mag release for this. Don't know if it's possible, but I'm going to try. I still need to widen up the grip here to match this. Still need to put the plates right here, which we have right here, cut previously. Fill in all of this stuff with some methyl methacrylate and stuff. I might just do this on my own time, not do it on the stream, because I can do this outside and it won't stink as much and blah blah blah. I still need to make a butt cap for the end of this because this is just open right now. Yeah. So little things. Oh, also these also need to go on the side right here. Alpha Snooper. Obviously those aren't on there yet, but we will get those. These will be fixed to this shell, and then it will just be free floating on here, so it won't be attached to the tube at all, so I can still take the tube out. But yeah, for now this is a good place to stop. I think I'll do the rest of it off camera. When we start doing like the aesthetics and stuff, which again not going to be for a while, when we start doing that again, I'll pick it back up with the stream. But I think the rest of this is just going to be off stream for in terms of the performance and stuff. So Ben, better get an artifact soon. They're going up in price like crazy. Really, I'm set off. Modulus Demolisher has been spotted. Yeah, we saw that earlier in the stream. But you can't bring back the RS in the Strife Hasbro. Okay. So if you guys have any last questions or comments or what have you, go ahead and start leaving those, and I will do my best to get back to you. But we're going to start wrapping up here. We've been going for an hour and 55 minutes. That's a good time. I'm pretty satisfied with this. It's got a pretty good weight to it with all that metal in there. Feels sexy. I'm surprised I got the breech the first time. I thought I was gonna have to do some major adjusting, but I actually got it pretty good the first time. How do you do your hair in the morning? That's my question. I wet it, make sure it's not sticking up, and comb it, and then kind of use my hand to do the front because I don't like the way the comb looks. Makes my hair look. So I run my fingers through it. Cool build. I'm glad to have seen it come together. I'm glad you could be here. Glad you guys are here. You feel sexy. What? Yeah. This is good. I like this. I don't think anyone has any questions. That's okay. We'll start wrapping up here. But isn't this so much better than this? If I didn't put this tank out here and I put it on the inside, this would be the default state. And then I would have to reverse breech it like that. Wouldn't that just be the worst? That'd be terrible. If only the stock had come in Elite Blue. Don't worry, we'll get it painted up eventually. What's the trigger area look like? Let's swing the barrel around here. So you can see the valve underneath there. How is it still focused on the background? There we go. Nice and clean. And that's all friction fit in there. There's no epoxy or anything holding that in place. I just slowly grinded away the plastic until it was friction fitting in there, and there's no play, which I'm pretty proud of. So would you cut the artifact trigger? I purposely put this in a way where if I were to use an artifact trigger, I wouldn't have to cut the outside of it. I would still have to cut off the back. You know the ramp on the back of the trigger for the slam fire? I had to cut mine back, like right here, right up to the slot for the screw post. So I'll still have to cut that off. But in terms of the outside, I shouldn't have to cut off anything. Is slam fire still a thing? Definitely not. Definitely not on an HPA. Pull the trigger and it fires whether the breech is open or closed. Right, because it's not like the orange mod one works. Yeah, I actually have an orange mod one. Mod works one. Blah. I don't like it. Gets like a tarnish on it, and it feels kind of like gammy. I don't like it. It's like a zinc. I don't really like how zinc tarnishes. Oh, you didn't drench your micro switch in epoxy like some people? I try not to. Or I guess valve, yeah. And since I don't drench it in epoxy, I don't have to screw holes for the relief valve because there's enough air and there's enough of a gap in there where it has plenty of room to vent into the atmosphere without me drilling holes into the side of this. Because it vents a little bit of pressure from the valve. Agreed. I thought so, but I wasn't sure. I'm still learning HPA. Not a problem. I'm gonna paint it. Orange mod works as zinc, which feels weird. Yep. Okay. We've had a productive stream. Again, besides the things that I've already mentioned, you might miss me fitting this a little bit better in here, and then screwing all the way, drilling all the way through, and then mounting a set screw. It's just going to be a the plan right now is just to be a thumb screw so that I can screw it on and then drill and tap the back polycarbonate. So when I put this in here and then cinch everything down, it will lock everything in place, and then have the actually I might actually drill and tap this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet because I want it to go all the way through, but So just have the set screw in there so that that doesn't go anywhere when I have that in place. We have these little shims. That's the left side. Have these little shims, and that will just lock up the stock from any play. We need to fill in here. I don't want to put epoxy in here. Excuse me, I don't want to put epoxy sculpt in here because I'm afraid it will chip. It's a high stress area. So I'm probably just going to fill this entire thing with methyl methacrylate so it doesn't chip. And I'll fill it in and then grind it back down to fit the stock. Trigger finger cooling on a hot day. Don't judge the picture on Discord, Hawkeye. I'll try not to. That is this with an afterburner. This would absolutely destroy an afterburner. This is going much faster than an afterburner could. Wow, that's a nice fit. Looks like a burst from just the lols. Anywho, we've been now going for 2 hours and a little over 2 hours and 2 minutes. So thank you guys very much for sticking around in the stream and seeing this thing finished up to the point where it's now firing. I really do appreciate you guys sticking around. It means a lot. But without further ado, thank you all for watching, and end stream.